Hello everyone, welcome to the sixth day of Web Development with React Bootcamp. So today we will be learning first how to run React on VS Code. So as most of you asked, we are going to see how to run our React code on Visual Studio Code. So there are four main steps which we need to cover. So the first is install Node. So let's see how to install Node. Open your Google browser and just type Node.js or even Node and click on the first link, and this is the version for Windows. So if you want, you can click on this and you can download it. So I have already downloaded it, so I'll be canceling it. So to check whether the node is installed in your PC or not, open command prompt and just type node hyphen hyphen version. So after entering, you'll get a version number. So by this you will be knowing that the node is installed in your PC or not, in your local computer or not. So my version is 14.16.1, but for this it is 16.13.0. I think it got updated. So this is how you install Node. So after installing Node, there are they all are easy steps. Just you need to click on next and install Node. So this is how we do the first step. So the second step is installing Visual Studio Code. So to install Visual Studio Code, just type in as VS Code. So this is the first link. So Visual Studio Code. So after the same for this event, we have to download for Windows, and after downloading, just click on next, so that you will be installed. The app will be installed in your PC. So the next is create a React app. So to create a React app, go to the React documentation page. So this is React documentation. So in this, go to docs. So this is all the documentation where you can learn about React events. So this is the official page of React. So after going to this, click on create a new React app. So in this, after scrolling down, there are some commands which were already given by them. So all you need to do is just copy the first line and paste it in your terminal of the Visual Studio Code. So after starting the Visual Studio Code, go to the terminal over here and create a new terminal. So after creating the new terminal, you can paste the link here, the code here. I have already done it. So after pasting it, so all the dependencies will be downloaded in this way. So that after downloading all this, there are some three main steps. npm start, this starts your deployment server, and this is npm run build. So this is bundles the app into static files, and this is the npm test, so that it tests it. So these are the main steps. So we suggest that you begin by typing. So these are the commands we need to type so that we can run the React app. So before running it, let's do some changes here. So this is my folder called as my app, and these are the node modules which are dependencies of React. So now we'll edit in the public folder. So all these are not important to us, so let's delete them. Index.html is important, so this is not important. All these are not important. Now in the source folder, we just need index.js and index.css. All these are not important. So after uninstalling, so as you see, these are also not important. Let's create this as we have done in a code sandbox. These are not important. No script. So this is the main HTML page. So in the CSS, let's clear this off. Yeah. And in the index.css, index.js, let's remove this. Let's remove all this. Yeah. So now if you see, everything is done as same as the code sandbox. Here there is a index.html, and in the source folder we are having our CSS and index.js. So in this way you can install all the VS Code and Node.js, so that you can run a React code from your computer, and I'll show you the coding part also. So now let's run this React code and check that whether it's working or not. So as you see in the HTML part, everything was same as we did in the code sandbox. Everything was same, and even in the index.js, everything is same. Import React from React, import React DOM, and we are rendering the hello world. So before starting this, there are some extensions which are useful for us. So the first one is Babel. As you know, what is this? So even install it. I have already installed. So Babel JavaScript, install this. And next one is Live Server. So I think you all know about this if you're doing web development. So using Live Server can automatically render your page so that there is no need of running the page so many times. So as you see here, I'll get an option as go live. So now if I click this, so now this is our code, and if I click this as go live, we'll be getting the direct web page. So now it's not showing because we need to start our app. So before starting it, there are some rules as we know. So first is we need to change our directory to my app, cd space my app, change directory to my app. Then after it, npm start. So by entering this command, our React server will start. So as you see, React script start. So wait for some time. Yeah, so as you see now, we have created our React app and printed hello world. So in this way, you can install React on your local computer and work the same as we do in the code sandbox. So now as we saw how to run our React code on VS Code, next let's move to import and export modules in React. So basically in React, we can import and export files from one to another. So as we saw yesterday, we can import files and even export files. So but today we will be seeing how to export multiple files. So we can import using the import keyword. As you all know, the syntax is import. This is the main keyword. So React from the dependency. This is the dependency name React. And we can export using the export keyword. So by export, this is the keyword and default and app. So export default app. Now let's see this in coding so we can understand it in a better way. So for exporting and importing, first what I'll do is I'll create a new file called mat.js in my source folder, and now I'll create a const py and I'll give the value of py 3.1415962. So this is the value of py, and what I'll do is I'll export it first. Export default py. So as now I have exported it in index.js, I can even import it. So import py from it's in the same folder, right? So math. The extension .js isn't required, so it's not important. So now let's render the py. So if we just give here the py, we'll be getting an error because we need to wrap it in a string literal. So we learned it about it yesterday. So now let's run it. To run it, go to the terminal, then cd change directory to my app, then npm start to start your server. So the server is running. Yeah. So we are on our localhost return. So as you see, we got the value of py. So this is just importing and exporting single values. And there's a main point to remember. If we give here capital py, it should be same even here. So if both doesn't match, we'll be getting error. So as you see, we get the same output. So remember, this both should be same. So this is how you just import and export one file. Now let's see how to export multiple files. So let's create some more lines of code here, like components. So first component is function double py. So I'll create a function named as double py, and what I'll do is, what I'll return is, I'll just return py multiplied with 2. So this is a function double py, this is a component, and I'll create another function known as triple py, and even for this I'll return py multiplied with 3. So as we created these components, now what we need to do is we need to export them. So to export multiple functions, what we need to do is export. We need to use the export keyword and the flower brackets and the names double pi and triple pi. So this is how we can export multiple components. So you may be getting a doubt that why can't we write like this, export default pi comma double pi and triple pi. This is not possible because in any file we can use only one default export statement in the entire file. So there should be only one default export. So as we used it for pi, we can't use it for double pi and triple pi. So we are using export and brackets, flower brackets, and we can give as many elements as we can. So now as we have exported this, these are the multiple elements we have exported. So now what we'll do is we'll import it. So as you see, now they are exported. So index.js. So now for importing, what we need to do is just as we have given here in the flower brackets, we need to do the same. So import pi comma flower bracket double pi comma triple pi. So as we have given here double pi comma triple pi, we are doing it in the same way. So from the math module. So now I'll render them. So as these are many elements, I need to use the div tag so that we can render as many elements as we can. Already I have rendered the pi. Now let's use h2 tag and render a double pi. So double pi, and we need to give parentheses for this as this is imported from double module, right? We have imported it in a double way, so we need to give the parentheses and close it, and h2 even the triple pi parenthesis for it and close it. So as you see now, it's compiled successfully. There is no error. We have created, we have imported, we have exported our double modules or double components from here, and we have imported them successfully here. Now let's see the output. So there's some error, failed to compile. I think triple pi document. So let's see where we got an error. So it's showing that in line 9. Yeah, but there's no error. Yeah, so as you see, we have compiled it. Now let's see. Yeah, so the error is resolved. So we got our values 3.14, and double pi is we are multiplying this with 2, and this is the triple pi. So in this way we'll be importing double modules, double components from a math.js file, and we can export in this way. Just remember one thing, there can be only one default export statement in the entire file, and you can use as many components as you can export in a flower bracket. So these are the main things you need to remember while exporting a file, exporting some components, and this is the normal case where we can import it. So in this way you can import and export modules. Now let's look about React props. This is one more interesting and main topic in the React session. So basically React props, in this the props is a shortcut for properties. So props stand for properties in React. So props are arguments that are passed into React components. So as we had seen yesterday, we built some components, right? So now in those components we can pass these arguments, and props are passed to components via HTML attributes. As we passed HTML tags to components, in the same way we can pass HTML attributes to the props. So as you see in this pic, so hello name equals to agents. So this is, in this, name is the props. So as you see here, name is the props. This complete entire thing is known as props. Props in the sense properties. So you will be understanding in a better way when we start coding. So just remember this. Now let's start coding. So first, the two main statements: import React from React, and the other thing is import React DOM from React DOM. So after writing these statements, now let's create a component first. To create a component, we need to use the keyword function, and the component name I'm putting it as card, and then in the brackets, this is the bracket. So in this brackets we write a props keyword. So here we give a props keyword, and then so as it is a component, I need to return something, right? So what I'll return is some HTML elements. So the div tag, so h2. So what I'll return is, for now, just will return hello. And next I'll give a image. So I need to give a source here so that it be blank for now. And then a p tag which describes color, and another p tag which describes email. So this is a card, this is a component. So if we remove this props, so now this is a component. This entire thing is known as component. But if we insert props here, this will become a property. So this is not completed yet. We need to insert many more items in this. For time being, I'll render them. Nothing will be shown on the screen. Just we are creating a template so that we can see. So React DOM dot render. So what I need to render is same the HTML tags are div. So now I'll create a h1 and I'll display it as my cards. So now what I'm going to do is, so in the place of hello, I'll put props name. So I'll show it. So first I created h1 name. So now I'll call this component here, that is card, and in the card name is, so it not my okay, my cards. So the name is, I'm giving a card name, it's BMW, and image. So I need to bring a image, so I'll copy some URL, for example BMW. If I go to images, I'll copy this URL, copy link address, and I'll paste it over here. So I have given the image, so color is white, and the email is xyz@gmail.com, some random email. So this is how we created our card. So now let's see what's the use of props. For example, if I want to print the name of the car, I need to give it as name. I need to give the name it. I need to name it as name. But using props, we can directly give it as props.name. And so it is a JavaScript element. We need to put it under a flower bracket. So as you see now, props.name, this props component is calling my name from here. So as you see, the card and card, this both matches. So props.name, so directly my BMW will be printed here. And next I'll give the image source. So here what I'll do is same props.img. So directly this whole URL will be pasted here. You need to remember just one thing, this and this should be matching, name and name, image and image. So now color, right? So what we need to do is same props dot color. So it is a JavaScript element, right? We need to wrap it, and the same for email, props dot email. So now if you see, we have created our props or property with component, and here we can create as many cards as we want. So now as we see, we have we'll get the div here, so we need to close this. So now we have shown what to show. Now we have to write the code for what where to print. So where to print is document dot get element by id, so in the root place, right? So now it's completed. So we need to give this column here. So now it's completed. So now let's run it. So let's bring our terminal up. I think I need to restart it. So as you see, there's some mistake with the URL, I guess. Copy email address. So my page is rendered now. So what I did is, so I have created a card. So the car name is BMW. So this is my cards. I will change to my cars so that it will be easy. My cars. So my cars. So BMW, you have got the pic, and the color is not white, it's black. So I convert it to black. So the color is black, and the email is xyz @gmail.com. So this is one card. So now by using props, we'll create another card so that we can create as many cards as we want. So now what I'll do is I'll create another card. So again I'll use the same props names. So name, image, color, excuse me, and email. They should be the same. So name. Now what I'll do is I'll give Audi and image, right? So I need URL. So I'll search for Audi images. So images. So we'll choose this. Copy email address and I pasted it. I'll choose some other. Copy email address. I pasted it and image. Then next color. Even this is in the black color. And email. I'll give it the same email, xyz@gmail.com. So now again we have created another card. So now even we can render this card over here. So as you see, if I refresh the page, so as you see I have got my another card which is Audi. So you can see the pic, and this is the color, and this is our email. So in this way you can create as many cards as you want, and you can just change the name over here so that it will be rendered here. So I have changed BMW to BM, so just for B. So in this way you can create as many cards as you want with just a one component. So this is the main use of props. Now let's do one more example so that we'll get an understanding about props. So I'll remove the entire code, and now let's start from the scratch. So just these are the basic statements: import react from react, import react DOM from react DOM. These are the main statements. So now I'll create a component again. Now my component name is car, and what I'll do is I'll give the props name here, and as this is a component I need to return something. So return, what I'll return is in a h2 tag I'll return I am a car. Okay, so this is a component. Now I'll create a constant known as my element, where I'll give a car brand. For example, I'll be giving it as Ford. So it's a self-closing tag. So now I have created a constant my element here. Now what I'll do is I'll render it. So react DOM dot render my element comma. So this is what we need to render, and where to show is, as you all know, document dot get element by id root only, right? Yeah, root. So root and the semicolon. So now if we see, it's showing that we are getting nothing because we are creating a component here but we aren't using it. So what we need to do is, first, now we have to use props. So I am a car, right? I am. So now I'll change this brand name. So what I'll do is I'll use props dot brand. So now our output will be I am Ford. Now if you see, so the output is I am Ford. So how this happened is, I'm creating a constant my element here and calling this component name here, so the car. So I'm creating a prop element, that is brand, which I am assigning with Ford. So here I am returning the value I am props.brand. So from the props of the component, I am calling this Ford here. So automatically it will convert this to Ford. So we are getting I am Ford. So this is how we use props to make it easy. So in this way we use React props. Now let's move to the next section, which is React developer tools. So when you code in React, you need to have even tools of React. So there's a tool called React Developer Tools that is actually an extension in the Google Web Store, which is known as React Developer Tools. Actually, this helps us to debug the code of React very easily. So this is how it looks. As you all know, if you click the right click and go to inspect, this is how we can see. But the components and profiler, these both tabs are useful for us for debugging the code. I'll show how to use it and how to install it even. So first go to the Chrome Web Store. I have already installed it, as you can see here. I'll show it again what to do. So go to Chrome Web Store and search for React Developer Tools. So as you get, it's in the first, which is offered by Facebook. So here you will be seeing the option add to Chrome. As I already added, it's showing remove from Chrome. So this is the developer tool. So now I'll show you how to use it. For example, let's see Airbnb. So this is a website built with React. So now see, for example, see this, the icon is now not in a color, it's just showing white. As soon as I go to the Airbnb, it's changing its color from blue and black, right? So as you see, this page is using the production build of React. So this page uses React to build this website. So now how can we use the tool is, you need to inspect it. So basically you will be getting all the HTML code and the CSS code, but to view the React code you need to go to the components. So as you go to the components, this is a props tree. Also you can call it as a component tree, where you can see all the components they are using to build this website. So as you see, there are so many components. So anonymous component, and within anonymous components there are many components. So this is also called as nested components. So nested components, so there are so many components. So in this way you can actually debug your code. So for example, now let's see this our main our own page. So here you can see in another color, because it's still in the build of React, it's not in the production stage. We can't see it in this way because it's still in the production stage. So if you inspect it, now you can see, because it's a very small application. So if you have just a car component, right? So as we see here, we have just a car component. So that's why it's displaying just a car component. So if you click on the car component, you'll get all the props and rendered by and everything. You'll be getting everything. So the props used here is brand. So we used this, right, brand. So this is what it's showing here. So the brand is Ford. So in this way you can use the React developer tools and debug your code, and even check how many pages are built with React and the source code, even not the entire source code but the components they use, how did it design it and all. So this is the use of the React developer tools. Well, moving on to the next topic, that is React events. Well, just like HTML DOM events, even React can also perform actions based on user events. As we see in HTML, we used to have these events like click, change, mouse over, mouse leave, and change the color, and all these events in HTML, right? So as same events, we can also create in React events. So, but there are some rules. Actually, in React, events are written in the camel case syntax. So, what is camel case is you all know, right? So, camel case syntax is the normal word. For example, let's take the camel case only. As you see, these are two words, right? So the first is camel and the second is case. But in the camel case syntax, the second word first letter must be capital. So this is called camel case. So here React events are written in the camel case syntax. So instead of writing on click like all in small letters, we need to make the first letter of the second word as capital to follow the camel case syntax. So we need to use on click instead of on click. Like this should be the capital. And React event handlers are written inside curly braces. In HTML, we used to write in this way, like we need to give the just the function name and the brackets, but here in React we need to use the parentheses, we need to use the curly braces as we are writing HTML in React. So we need to follow some rules like JavaScript rules. So this is an example how you can do this. So we are creating a button. So on click, this is an event where we are following even the camel case syntax. C is capital here, and then I am returning the function which is click in a curly braces, and this is the text which will display click it. So now let's see an example and let's do it so that we can understand in a better way. So these both are the two statements common for everything, for every code. Now let's create a component function and its name is clicking. So I'll put it as clicking. So remember, in the component the first letter should be capital always. So as it is a component, what I'm doing is first I'm creating a constant named as click, and I'm using the arrow function. You might learn this in the JavaScript session. So what I'll do is I'll alert it. So I'll do a alert saying that you clicked our button. So this is what I'm gonna alert. So after as we are alerting it, so as this is a component, I need to return something, right? So return, what I'll return is a button. I'll create a button. So button. So now I'll give the event which is on click. So I'll following the camel casing. So button on click. So what we need to do on click, I need to call this function. So on click, call this function. So I have called the function on click. I'm calling this, and then in the text I'll show that click this. So in this way you can create a button. Now what we'll do is we'll render it. So react dom dot render. What we need to render is the function, the component name, that is clicking component name. It is a self-closing tag, comma, where we need to display it in the document dot get element by id section in the root. So now we have created again. So this is the event example. Now let's test it. So as you see, we have got a button, click this, as we have given here, click this. So what I'll do is I click it. So as soon as I click on click, it will go to the click function. So here as we have given the click function, so it will alert us that you clicked our button. So as you can see here, you clicked our button. So in this way you can click this button and you can get the alert as many times as you want. So in this way we can use React events, like all the HTML events even in React, by just following the camel casing syntax. So this is how React elements or React events work. Now moving on to our next topic, that is React map. So in React, a map is a data collection type where data is stored in the form of pairs. In React, the map method is used for traversing the list element. So basically, when we want to traverse a list from starting to the ending, we use map keyword. Even in Python, we use map. So the same we use in React, but with a different syntax. So now let's see this code so that we get better understanding. So this is the code regarding React map. So I'll put a comment here. So React map. So now let's see the code and understand it. So the first two statements are common, importing React and React DOM. And next I'm creating an entire component from here to here so that I can use it. So first function. So for component I'm using function keyword and the component name is name list, and even I'm using props over here. Next I'm creating a const mylist, so which is rendered from here. So I'm using props so that it will call it. So props.mylist. So all this list will be rendered over here in this way. So in this way we'll be getting props.mylist. This is calling it. So in the next line we are creating another constant called list items, where mylist.map of mylist. So what I'm doing over here is, so first mylist. So in this list actually we have this. So first here I am having actually this. So mylist.map of mylist. So what we are doing is, so now by using the map function, so as you see here in React, the map method is used for traversing the list element. So we use map so that we will be traversing from the starting to ending. We can traverse the entire list. So in this way, we'll store it in the list items. So as you see here, we'll be storing it in the list items. So as I created a component, I need to return it, right? So now I'm returning it using the div so that we can use as many HTML tags as we want. In the h2 tag, I have given that React map example. In the unordered list, I am calling the list items. So here the list items, in the list items, actually this was stored, right? This was stored. So now this will be printed over here by using the mapping function, so that we'll get each and every element from starting to ending. So now after creating this entire component, now it's time to render our component so that we can see the display. So I'm creating a const mylist and giving a list abcde. Now it's time to render. So react dom dot render. So what I need to show is name list. So this is the our component name. So in the name list, what we need to show is mylist, where mylist equals to, this is the JavaScript tag. So we are using mylist equals to mylist, so that this is what we want to display, and where we want to display is in the document dot get element by id in the root place. So here over here we want to display it. So I think you understood the code. Now let's run it and see. Fail to compile. So as you see, React map example. So we got the output A, B, C, D, E. This is rendered from the starting to ending. So the whole list got traversed by using the map function. So in this way, we'll be using map in React so that we can traverse the list element entirely from starting to the ending. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's session. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And even don't forget to fill out the attendance form, which is in the chat box and even in the description box. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.